Okay, we covered the promise static methods, right? Correct. The static methods, what are we have? Resolve.
Resolve from reject.
Dot reject. Correct. This static method we covered. Next we have covered the then method, right?
Then and
Okay, what it takes? It takes function, resolve, reject.
or reject.
Next we covered the
Catch.
how to create the catch as well. Okay, catch is nothing but reject only, right?
Promises.
So, and also we covered how we can create a promise using constructor, right?
Yes.
We can so next we covered promise chaining, right?
Yes.
Next we covered promise dot all, right?
All.
Yeah. So let me open this promise overall view once, right? Okay. We have the static method promise dot resolve. Okay. Here the promise state is automatic resolved, right? Since we have taken the resolved promise. Next we have the catch, right? Or reject. Here the promise by default is the rejected state, correct? So yeah, we have the promise done, right? Then we take how many parameters? 2 parameters, right?
Yeah.
What are those? It will be function and function. The first one will be the resolve function. The second one, whatever we will pass the reject function. Okay, whenever anything happened, any rejected will happen, the rejected function is going to be called. Anything resolved, resolved function is going to be called, right? Whatever the then chaining we have applied, then automatically the previous resolved value goes to the next resolved function, correct? Yeah. So we covered the promise constructor or the promise object creation using constructor. So here the promise constructor takes a function, right?
Yeah.
Inside function you will have resolve and reject. So whenever we want to resolve based on the condition for that promise, we can make it resolve. If we want to reject, we can use the same reject whatever we pass it for this function, correct?
Yes.
Next we covered the chaining, right? Promise dot all. So what we have done here, promise dot all, we take a number of promises as an array, correct?
Yes.
It will wait until all the promises are resolved. What are the promises that we pass it to an array of promise to all method. So if any one of the promise is rejected, all the promises are going to be rejected. So what we have done, created some 2 to 3 promises. Then we have created the constructor or promise object by using the constructor. by passing the function resolve and reject. In this way, we have tried the promise.all method. So promise.all also returns us some promise. So once it resolves, we can see the resolved result and array of each promised value. Correct?
Yes.
So now it is time to learn about the how we have to handle the async hell, right? Sorry, callback hell. Right? How we have to handle the callback hell by using the promises, correct? So we have already done the callback hell, right? So here we'll rename this to promise. Here this one. Okay, let me open this to include our base file, right? Okay. Now let me open this. Okay, here what we have done earlier, we have written the set timeout, right?
Yes.
Okay, now instead of returning the using the set timeout, what we have to do, we have to return a callback function, correct?
Yes.
Sorry, we have to return a promise from this, correct? So automatically when the timeout occurs or completed, we can resolve that promise, right? By using how we have done for callback, correct?
Yes.
So now what I'm going to do, get user details. Right, so here user ID, we don't require callback, right? So what I'm going to do, return new promise, right? New promise, what it will take? It takes a function, right?
Yes.
Resolve reject. When we are getting the or once the promise got completed, right? Or set timeout completed, what I'm going to do, I'm going to resolve this promise by passing my user ID information. Understood?
Yes.
So in the same way, we have to do it for others. Okay, let me copy this. we have to resolve the final result, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, get watched movies we are calling it. So here, what we have done? We have done by using the callbacks earlier, correct? Okay. Now, what I will do? First, what is the first step? We have to get the user details, right? Get user details by passing the user ID, correct?
Yes.
I am passing user ID. So, what it returns? This get user details. It returns as a promise, right?
Yeah.
So, how we are going to take resolved value from a promise? By using
Catch.
catcher then, right? Catch is to take the resolved value, right?
Yeah. Okay. Catch takes
Catch is to take the rejected value, correct? So first then we'll take a function with the resolved value, correct? What are the resolved value that we are going to take? Console.log of user, right? Okay, we'll see what we are going to get now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let me run this. What are the user IDs we have? Ravi, right? Okay, syntax error. Get watched movie details is not defined. Okay, so we are getting some error. Promise callback error.js 25. So we have to close the promise function, right? Correct. This one is correct. I didn't close this. You are seeing, right?
Yes.
So if I refresh this, still it is coming 25. Why? We have to close the promise bracket, right?
Yeah.
Still we can see the errors at other places. 34 also, correct? I closed the promise, but I didn't close it properly. Correct. Now, if you refresh this, now the JavaScript loaded properly. Now, if you observe here, unless and until it completes all errors, the JS file didn't load from browser. You understood?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ravi, if I click on this, you can see what we got. email ID we got, right? Correct. Next, once we got the email ID, what is our next step? We have to get what are the watched movies from the email ID, right? So for that, what we can do? Okay. So get user we got. So next what I will do? Get, what is the method that we used? Get user details. Get user movies, correct?
Yeah.
So get user movies. What required for this? User required for this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what it returns us? It returns us the promise, right?
Yeah.
So what we can do? Get user movies dot then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what it returns us? It returns us movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dot then movies it is going to return us movies. If I print the console.log movies, if I refresh it,
There's a bracket. Oh,
somewhere wrong.
yes.
Okay, we have to close this then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I pass Ravi, we can see user details got printed. Next we got the user movies. What is our next step? Once we got the movies, we have to get the movie details, right?
Yes.
Get movie details by passing movies, correct?
Yes.
So what it returns us? Again it returns us a promise, correct?
Yes.
So I will do dot then movie details, correct?
Yeah.
Here what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the print details so that it will print the movie details. Correct? We can see the results back. Okay. Next. Understood, right? This example?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So can we write something like this by using promise chaining? Correct? Get user details dot then what it returns? It returns as user, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How we have written promise. Something like we have done like this, right? So user details, then
Hello. 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 Sir, I can't hear you. Your screen is stuck.
hello.
Hello.
Hi, Nikhila. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah. So what we have done, get user details dot then get user movies, right?
Yeah.
For this, what required? User required. You can say what it returns. Here is returning a promise, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I can put dot then, correct? What we will get? We will get the movies, right? Get user movies, right? Sorry, get movie details. For this, we have to pass the movies. Correct. Once we got the movies, next dot then movie details hyphen print results, right? Print details by passing movie details. Correct. Same we have done by using the promise chaining here. So if I run, okay, we will see the same results, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this way, we can apply the promise chaining, right?
Yes.
Since here each return value is another promise here, correct?
Yes.
So automatically this promised resolved value will come to the next line, correct? Yeah. So next we will see how we have to write these promises in Ajax, right? So have you tried any example?
Yeah, I tried using
Are you able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, just by using promises you have done or callbacks?
First, I think I did with reference. Then again, I rectified it and did with this callback.
Okay, using callbacks you have done, right? Okay, fine. We'll
Yes.
see how we can do it by using the Ajax, right? So I'm going to open my old example. I'm not going to type now. Okay. Okay. So whenever remember, right, Ajax, how it works. So on ready state change event, we have to identify whether the Ajax completed or not. Correct?
Okay.
Okay, how Ajax is going to work? Based on the ready state change event, we are going to identify whether the Ajax is completed or not. Correct?
Yes.
If the Ajax is completed, what we will get? We will get result. I mean to say the ready state change event is going to be called.
Okay.
Event function, callback function, the event function is going to be called. Correct? So now what we are going to do on ready state change event, we can pass the callback function by passing the result, right?
Yes.
Same only you have done. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of calling the callback function, what we can do, we can return a promise out of it. Correct? Like this. So if it is success, we can resolve it by using the response. Whatever the response we will get. If we reject, we can tell what is the reason behind the reject. Yeah. Now I'll open the example. Okay. So here you can see the register function. Okay, I have taken email and password, right?
Yeah.
Okay, on click of this register function, it is going to call this register function. So here what I have done, I have taken the URL register, correct? So in this method post, I have taken the email ID. These are the two email IDs it will work. Email ID and password. I have taken the email whatever user enters from screen, right?
Yeah.
From input elements. Next, we have to prepare the data object in order to send the request. Hope you remembered this post method.
Yes.
Okay, which takes an object, right? Sorry, post body. So we have to pass the body, this body. So, okay, so I'm calling registration process here URL method json.stringify, correct? The data I'm passing, whatever the data that it is there, it is an object that I'm converting to JSON. Once I will call this registration process, So what it is doing, it is creating an Ajax function. Right, inside this Ajax function, what I have done, I created the promise object. Are you seeing?
Yes, yes.
Inside this URL method that I passed. So I'm returning a promise object by making the Ajax call. Then once it is resolved, right? I mean to say, once I got the response, ready state is done. It means our response process completed by Ajax. So I'm resolving with the request.response. If it is error, I'm rejecting the with error. Following?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll tell what is this one, right? Once I'm sending the request.data of send. So just we have to return the promise. Inside of the promise, what we have to do? We have to process the XML HTTP request. Once we got the ready state change event done, we have to make sure send the response back by making the resolved response. So once we got the response, what we can do? We can call this one, right, by making dot then, correct?
Yeah.
Then we can see the response back. So once we got the response, I am passing the response.id. So let me run this one. You will be understanding better. So what I will do, I'll open this promise. Let me copy these two into our I'll open. So what is the user ID I can give? Here you have to use the same email. Then only it will work. Okay?
Yeah.
Same email. Password is pistol. You can see, right? The response we got as a
Right.
ID for token. You see? The same response we received. So once I receive that response, again I'm getting the user detail. Like if you see, if I do /4, right?
Okay.
You can see for eve.hold. The same details I got it.
Yes.
Correct? Again I'm making another Ajax call by passing this user ID after registration. Understood?
Yeah.
So I hope you have done the similar example by using callback, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I suggested to update the existing example to promises, right? Whatever you have done by using the callbacks, do the same by using the promises. Then you will be able to understand what is the difference between the callbacks and promises. Okay, if you want, I will share these examples for your reference. you can try first on your own.
Okay.
Okay, so next we'll go to the next concept called async await. Okay, so far we have learned callbacks and callbacks, callback help. What are the disadvantages if we go for the callbacks? We have learned callback help. How we are going to resolve this callback helps by using the promises. Next, the promises are also it is simply calling the resolved value by using the right. So by calling the then resolved value, we are getting the results back.
Yeah.
So, but if we are using async and await, by using async and await, how we are doing our synchronous logic, how we are doing, right? Like that, we can write our logics by using async await. We can write our asynchronous logic, I can say, correct? By using async await, similar to how we will write the synchronous logic, correct? So I mean to say, if we are trying to get the user movie details, right? I'm passing user ID. What we have done so far, we have created the promises, we applied the dot then, dot then, dot then, dot then, right? This we have written. But it is also a little bit confused for us, right? So if we are able to write the similar logic like how we have done for synchronous logic, I mean to say, first get user details, right? It returns us some constant, user ID, it returns user. Next, what we can do, get user movie details, right? The user movies. What it returns us movies. Constant movie details is equal to get movie details. Once I got this movie details, into result movie details. Okay, if we are able to write this way, is this clear compared to how we have written by using dot then by using promise chaining, which is easy to understand immediately by seeing the logic, right?
Yes.
By seeing this logic, it is very easy to understand for us. We are taking the user, get user details, then it returns as user. By passing this user, we are getting user movies. Once we got the movies, by passing these movies, we are getting movie details. Once we got the movie details, we are printing the result. Correct? This is the easiest or simple way anyone can understand, and we can debug easily also. Okay, so by using async await, we can make our asynchronous logic, or we can write our asynchronous logic in a synchronous way. Understood?
Yes.
So what we can do, how we can write asynchronous logic in a synchronous way. For that we have to use the keywords async and await. Okay. In order to make any function, asynchronous function, we have to write the logic or write the async keyword prior to our function. Understood?
Yeah.
So next await. Await will wait for the promises to resolve. Okay, I can say await waits for awaiting promise. So once the promise is resolved, then only this await returns the value back. Understood? So all these methods, earlier we have written the promises we return. You remember?
Yeah.
So what I can do, I can apply await prior to that. Clear? So what it will do, right? It will wait until this promise resolved. Unless and until this promise resolved or rejected, we don't get any results. It will wait until the promise is going to be resolved. Once it resolved, it is going to return as the resolved value. Clear, right?
Yes.
So for that only we have async await. Let me open the documentation. Okay, you can see the async keyword turns our regular JavaScript function declaration into an asynchronous function declaration. Okay, we have to do like async function. Prior to the function keyword, we have to make sure write the async keyword. Next, await. The await operator is used to wait for a promise. Okay, the await waits for a promise to resolve the value. It can be used inside an async function only. Okay, the await we can't be used outside of any function. Okay, it must always be used inside of our async function only. Okay, the keyword await makes JavaScript wait until the promise returns a result. Understood this point?
Sure. Until the promise returns a result, it can be like a negative result also, like resolved or rejected or
Yeah, correct, exactly. It is nothing but the promise has been satisfied with the resolved value or rejected value. Unless and until we won't get any result from the promise, right?
yeah.
It has to be noted that it only makes the async function block wait and not the whole program execution. Understood this statement? So suppose I mentioned this as a async function, correct? Okay, let me switch to my broadband. Just a minute. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, right? Async function. What are the logic that we have written by using async? It doesn't make whole program to be stopped until completes the async functionality. Just it stops only that function whatever we make it as async. I mean to say, if we write any synchronous functions after the async function, right, it won't wait until this async function got completed. The flow won't stop until this async function will execute. So if you write another synchronous function here, right, these functions won't stop. These will execute parallelly or prior to this async function execution. Understood, right? This point?
Yes.
Yeah. So next, an async function returns again a promise only. Okay, when the async function returns a value, the promise will be resolved with the returned value. When the async function throws an exception or some value, the promise will be rejected with the thrown value. Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So inside an async function, we can use the await keyword. Okay, await placed before a promise causes the async function to pause until the promise is settled. The same. Okay, prior to await, if we make any promise, what it will do? It will wait until the promise is fulfilled or rejected. Okay, next. When the promise is fulfilled, the value of the await expression is the value of the fulfilled promise. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So when the promise is rejected, the await expression shows the rejected value. Next simple example, this one. We'll copy this example. You know, right? This is a very minimal example. Okay, so if you see what we have done, here we have written a promise by using a timeout, correct?
Yeah.
Where is this written? Okay. So function, it returns a promise after this. Next, async function I created. What it will do? It awaits for this promise, right? Okay, the function is going to pause until how much time that we are going to send. So what it returns, again this async function is also going to be return promise. Since this async function, we don't know how much time it is going to take. Correct? That's why they are returning again the promise back only. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I will do, I will copy this one. Right, I will put here this function created. Why? Correct, we created the make promise. Now I will create one async function. Okay, so next, if you see, I will return this. I will call this async function. Right, if you see what you can see, it has a returned promise. Correct, again it is a promise object. Are you seeing?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this way we can write the async await. Right. So what is our next step? How we have to write our callback hell, right? By using async await. Are you following?
Yes.
Now you have to tell me how we can apply that. I will copy this. Right. So first step, make this async function, right?
Yes.
Okay, so inside of it, it's okay. Next. Next, what we have to do? Get user details. What it returns? It returns us user, right?
Equal to await.
What it is going to return us is okay. No need to put await also. Just it is a normal function, right?
Yes.
Print details is it. So automatically it will wait until all these things completed. Correct? Now I will refresh this. Unexpected identifier 50. Okay. So what is the mistake?
Async.
I think we have to keep prior to the function. function here. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. How is it easy earlier or now?
Now it's
Now it is easy, right? So whenever we have a logic, what we have to do? Always written as a promise, right? Then write the async logic by using async functions and wait for promises until those are going to be resolved. Clear? So here all are interlinked. So unless and until you understood callback hell, you won't be able to understand all of these. Correct? Promise, unless and until you understand promises, async await won't be understood. So I ask you to work on the Ajax call, right?
yeah.
By using async await as well. Okay, so any doubts so far?
Yeah.
No, right? So next we have classes, right? Classes and modules, and as well as we have the yeah. Once we complete classes, modules, then we have to go for the Node.js introduction. Okay, so yeah, once we complete classes modules, then we have to go for the Node.js introduction. After that, we have to go for Webpack, right?
Yeah.
Then we'll see one example on Webpack. After that, we are good to start with our
Yeah.
React.js. Okay, mostly it will take 3 to 4 hours time to start the React.js. Prior to that, we have to understand the classes and module system.
I actually learned classes just because I have an idea what classes are.
Okay, so can I skip that?
Yes.
Okay. So I prefer you to go through this document once.
Okay.
Just let me know if you have any doubts in tomorrow's session.
Okay.
Right? We'll see
Yeah.
that. You can ask me. I will clarify that. So then I will go directly tomorrow modules, right?
Yeah.
Okay, modules, you know?
Little bit.
Don't know, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay, then go ahead.
I mean, module is nothing but splitting a program like into different modules. That one.
Correct.
Logic.
Correct. Okay, tomorrow we'll cover the modules one. Okay, tomorrow I'll try to complete modules. Then in the next class we'll see Node.js introduction and Webpack. Okay?
Okay.
Okay then. So Okay, tomorrow we'll meet at the same time in the morning. I'll let you know when I'm going to take in the evening class. For you, I think morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell that.
Okay.
Okay then. Tomorrow evening. Thank you.
Bye.